All right, let's get into this torpedo bat, bowling pin bat, whatever you want to call it. Let's get into that discussion and what went on this weekend and why is this being talked about so much? Well, because the bats look different on some guys than others. And that has brought up a lot of, oh, are the Yankees cheating? Are these guys cheating that are using these bats and all of that? Uh, as much as I wanted to kind of join that and be like, yeah, this shouldn't be happening. I mean, it's within the rules. And so this is just someone with the Yankees who's now with the Marlins being smart about it. And the Yankees get rewarded for it. And now there's going to be a lot of torpedo bats, I would imagine, popping up around Major League Baseball. But players essentially, they were mad that, like, oh, the pitching has gotten so good. ESPN put a good article talking with the main guy, his name Aaron Leanhart from the Yankees, who's now with the Marlins. He was a minor league hitting coordinator for the team, but before that, he went to MIT. He was with Michigan, I believe, as a professor. And there was this solution that he has found: increase the size of the barrel on the bat. And that's essentially what has happened. And I actually have toothpaste to kind of demonstrate this visually for people, if that, may help. So I'll do that here in a little bit. But um, I'm reading from Joe Pompliano here. MLB bats must be made from one piece of solid wood, be no more than 2.61 inches in diameter at their thickest part, and not exceed 42 inches in length. So as long as the length doesn't, go too long, and it's within a certain amount, the barrel or the thickest part of the bat, then it's fine. And that's what is happening. It's redistributing where some of the wood was closer to, I believe, the hands and the end of the bat to where the ball most of the time is going to hit the bat. So it makes sense. Now, why was this not thought of earlier? Not so sure. But I mean, I think Cody Bellinger was using this type of bat last season, and there are other guys in the league. It's not just the Yankees. There are other guys in the league. I think Mitch Garver is one of them that have used these bats. And it was brought up on the Sunday Night Baseball broadcast with Manny, and he was mic'd up last night. And so I'll play that audio here right now, actually. He wants some of these bats to be sent over to Petco if they're going to be hitting homers like this. But at that point in time, he didn't really know anything about it. But I'm sure he and others have probably done some more research about it and requested some of these.
And one of the things that has made the news here, Manny, these torpedo bats. Like the Yankees have 15 homers already. Are you aware of those? Like, help people who follow baseball to understand, to your degree, what that means, what you know about it.
I have no idea what they are.
Is that right?
They should send a few over here if they're going to be hitting homers like that. So whoever's making them, we can send a few over here to Petco with this big ballpark.
There you go. So, yeah. I don't know if this is like a single brand thing. Like Jazz Chisholm, I'm trying to see what brand that is. Is that, it starts with a C. Is that Chandler? Chandler bats, maybe? I don't know what the other guys use, but I'm sure that all of these brands can do this. But, give credit to people like Leanhart for thinking like outside the box. And it's kind of like, yeah, this should have been thought of, but these bat brands are the ones that make the bats. So they're just going to continue to make the bats the way that they have made them. There are guys with these bats without the torpedo bats, just the regular bats that have been hitting 50 home runs in a season or 40 home runs in a season. So why not just keep doing that if you're the bat companies? And they're not, they're probably, maybe they do, but I don't think the bat companies are thinking about, okay, how can we get more wood on the barrel? Like they're just trying to make bats to make, the players happy and make customers happy. And so these were requested, and it seems like they did some studies on this, and it ended up being approved. I did see they went through like 40 different bat approvers or something. I'm seeing that in this ESPN article here. Trying to see where that was. Here it is. Let's see. Once players bought into Lienhardt's seedling of an idea, they requested samples from bat manufacturers. Lienhardt worked with a number of MLB's 41 approved bat makers to make the idea real, and the spec bats were given model numbers that start with BP for bowling pin, though he admits that torpedo sounds kind of cooler. So we can't sit here and say it's a leak. I mean, they went through 40 plus bat approved bat makers, I should say. So like they've checked on this here. This isn't something that can't be happening. So yeah, I hope that there are some sent to Petco and Padres players are using those tonight against the Guardians. I don't know how much of an impact it's going to have, but I would think that it has a positive impact. Maybe the Brewers pitchers just suck, but I assume they don't just suck. And when you have, I mean, look at Jazz Chisholm's bat right here in this picture. Obviously, it doesn't look like a normal bat that we're used to. When you have a barrel looking like that, and that's where you normally hit the ball, it's going to give some sort of a difference. I saw in the article they were talking about maybe a 102 mile per hour exit velocity and 101. Well, that could be a difference in a home run and a deep flyout or a ball off a wall, you know? So I don't know if this would mean like someone would hit 20 homers with a normal bat and then they hit 40 with this bowling pin torpedo bat. But baseball is a game of inches, so you're going to try to take as much as you can. And this seems like it is illegal. So not illegal, excuse me. It seems like it is legal. Sorry. Now getting to this toothpaste. So I have my Crest toothpaste here, not a sponsor, but I just want to demonstrate. It's pretty even right now with what you're seeing. Sure, there's some near here, but, and I should probably put the mic down to better demonstrate this, but then maybe you won't hear me. Let's say the barrel is down here, but I have toothpaste over here where I'm pointing. So if I want to have the barrel have the most toothpaste, if you will, over here, then I want to slide this over here. So that's sort of what is happening here with the bat. So I'm going to put my mic down here for a second, and I'm going to squeeze it, and you'll see the difference between what it looks like now to what it looks like. Here, I'll flip it so it's consistent to what that looks like now. You see how it looks meatier over here on the Crest side? So that's sort of what they're doing with the bats. And so I know it's a funny example, but if I were to hit something with this, it would probably have more of an impact and go farther than if I were to when everything was spread out. So sorry, that was a silly example, but that's just what I thought of. But that's what is happening here a little bit. So we'll see. You know, I'm seeing on social media, don't give the Dodgers those torpedo bats because they'll go crazy with it. But, I mean, you're telling me Tatis with a torpedo bat couldn't do damage, or Manny with a torpedo bat, or Merrill with a torpedo bat? So if everyone is using it, then what is really the advantage of using it other than other guys are using it, so you want to keep up, right? So eventually we may not see that much of like an impact in terms of like certain teams, maybe they're way better than what we thought because of these bats, and so they can go win. If everyone's using it, then we'd still think that the best teams, the most talented players, they're going to be still the best teams, the most talented players, the best players. So we'll see. We could see more home runs for sure, and there could be more offense. Not so sure pitchers are going to be very happy about this, but there was the whole spider tack stuff, and you know, they're always finding ways to get better with velocity and stuff. And with a bat, there isn't very many ways you can like do much of that. So this is, I guess, that way that it's been thought of. And so I give props to the Yankees for doing that. And Ryan Jeffers, Twins catcher, he said here, I mean, I didn't even read this first, but this is what I pretty much just said. There's new pitchers getting invented every year. Ryan Jeffers, who used a bowling pin model in the first 3 games this year and went 1 for 8. Now, he's not one of the best, catchers in the league or anything. We're just swinging the same broomstick we've swung for the last 100 years. So you're just trying to optimize it, as he says. And so I'm fine with it. Initially, I wasn't fine with it, but I didn't like a lot of Twitter, just immediately, without doing research and without thinking about it, just immediately say that, oh, the Yankees are cheating and all that. All I did was question, because part of someone's tweet, I forget who it was, but they were like, yeah, the Yankees made the bats. And then all I replied was, since when do the teams make the bats? The teams don't make the bats. The bat manufacturers make the bats, whether it's Chandler or Victus or whoever. They make the bats. The teams may be like, hey, we have found that this is legal. Can you make it this way? But it's not the teams actually making the bats. That would be illegal, I would imagine. So we'll see. We'll see if the Padres end up having these torpedo bats, if we can notice tonight or at some point during this Guardians series. I would imagine that they're going to try to get those shipped as quick as possible. And yeah, it was an interesting thing to see over the weekend, the torpedo bats. And maybe it was just the perfect storm where the Yankees, they have talent in that lineup. They have guys that can hit homers. They do have the short porch at Yankee Stadium. And then Brewers pitchers just weren't on their game. Now, if the best pitchers in baseball, end up struggling, or, flyouts turn into homers all over the place, then we could see, more of a difference. But I'm just curious, I guess, what the real impact this is going to have on the league, because MLB is not going to sit there and say no to this, because it seems like it's already been approved by MLB approved bat makers, and that it's not like there's this like cheating that's going on. If you're the Yankees, why would you tell other teams that, oh, we have thought of this and it's approved by baseball, but you're not, if you're the Yankees, you're not going to tell the Red Sox, you're not going to tell another team about it. You're going to wait for that team to discover what you've done, and then they can do it. And if then they do it and, you're on that level playing field, okay. But you want to have that advantage for as many games as possible. So that's what it seems like was happening there. And for those that used it last year, which the only name that I've seen floated out there was Cody Bellinger. I haven't seen like images from last year, but let's say he did use it. If it's been approved, it's been approved. And people just didn't notice that he was using it because we're not looking, we're not focusing on what the bat looks like. There probably weren't zoomed in shots all the time of Cody Bellinger's bat last year because no one was thinking about this. But now that there's that like microscope on it and we're focused on it, then we're going to be focused on it. So we'll see. Manny, for anyone that's like knocking Manny, oh, too focused. I saw someone on social media, maybe he's trolling, but too focused on soccer to be, focused on what's happening around baseball, to know what's going on around baseball. And it's like, I mean, if you're watching Manny play, I think you should be pretty good with what Manny's doing. I don't think if you're Manny, why do you need to know what's going on around baseball? What matters is what you're doing for your team. And yeah, the torpedo bats will be sent to the Padres clubhouse. I'm pretty sure, like they will be sent to every clubhouse in baseball.